Alright, what is up, guys? Back again with Catty Corner. Sorry it took so long. Um, been having blue screens on my main computer, and I had to send it into a computer shop, and I've tried to record it twice, and it didn't work. So that's always fun. So, Catty Corner, let's talk about it. First off, let's talk about all the chests we have here. Catty Corner in reality has 21 chests in its entire vicinity, which includes all of this right here. There's only two chests here. The third one's over here, but for some reason it counts over there. So if you have time for caddy, and depending on where you rotate, because obviously most rotates like this, but if you go down, you can hit these two chests, and you can send one of these guys to hit this, depending on what happened or how the state of caddy is going. But in the main part of caddy, we only have 8 chests over here, 9, 10, and 14 chests total. So obviously, in most cases, it's going to be better to own this part of caddy than this part because you just have way more chests than the other side. I mean, there's 8 over here and there's 4, 5, 6, 6 over here. So 8 versus 6. Again, if your trio lands, if all chests spawn, that's 2 per, and that's some decimal that I don't want to do. So obviously, you want to land here at the spot 100% of the time. It just has more chests and there's more chances, and the chests are more compact, and there's more mats as well, but we'll talk about that later. Next, let's talk about bunker chest. So there is a bunker chest. It's out here. There's one back here too, but good chances you won't be able to get that one. And the retail one. There's also a retail one that spawns over here, which you might be able to check, but in most cases you won't be able to get it. So here's the retail chest. Or not, sorry, here's the bunker chest. So with this bunker chest is kind of in quite a weird position because the Misty team can rotate into it, the Lazy team can come down, the Camp Cod team can rotate into it, and even the retail team, if they're feeling fucking brazy, can come down and do it. But in most cases, these are the 3 teams you have to worry about. And then you join into it, so you can also come down here. So really, in most cases, the lazy team won't come down. Even if they have this uncon, it takes a while to loot this, and then they'll probably end up pushing retail or head into zone. And so they probably won't come down for the bunker chest. But if someone lands pool and it's early in the game and they're uncon, he might go down anyway and grab it. So the Misty team won't come if it's early because they again have a lot of to loot over here, and then they have to, they might go towards Spire, enter like this, or fish, 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 and then come over here and go. So the bunker chest is pretty iffy on some teams that land Misty might grab it, some might not. Lazy might, Camp Cod might, or they might not. It really just depends on the state of the game, what time is it, etc., etc. But there's a bunker chest here, so if you end up rotating down like this and you aren't going to go up or down, then don't be afraid to hit the bunker chest and then go into lazy or keep going that way. All right. Next, let's talk about off-road tires. So there is an off-road tire spawn right here in Caddy, so you can throw that on one of the cars that you will have or trucks you have around, and then you can quickly get to zone that way. Mechanical parts. So there's 4 mechanical parts on this side with the 8 chests. There's also 4 on this side. There's 2 in here, but it isn't shown on Fortnite.gg. So there's 4 and 4 on each side. So in total, for 100% mechanical spawns, just in actual Caddy, not including these 2 over here, we have 8 mechanical parts, which is enough for someone to go to a pumper, a scar, or whatever. But if we turn on cars and trucks, we see that we have, a truck and a trailer down here. A tractor might even drop one too. Truck and a trailer, parking lot down here, another parking lot over here, car and boat spawn over here, truck, parking lots, and a truck spawn over here, and a truck spawn and a trailer spawn underneath here. So really, Caddy has a lot of mechanical parts. So in most cases, you can guarantee your team to have pumps, blue or purple pumps, and in most cases purple pumps. I'll tell you what in a second. Purple pumps and scars and ARs. And blue ARs, green ARs, whatever. But for some reason, let's say the trucks don't spawn and you don't have enough mechanical parts for everyone to get a real AR, give one person a primal or makeshift, whatever, and then see if you can get in the rotate and get to this guy because he sells Magnums. And Aussie Antics made a point a while ago that, I mean, if you shoot 50 rounds of a Magnum, that seems like a lot for the Magnum because it is, but it's only 50 AR, which isn't a lot at all. So it's really the revolver is good if you don't have like a mechanical bow or if you don't have a real AR and you still want to go for surge tags. Because everyone should have a real AR for surge tags. It doesn't really matter if you're on controller, keyboard, whatever. You just want to make sure you have an AR that has first shot accuracy because you never know the tags you can get. So, in the topic of characters, the reason why almost everyone would get like a purple pump or a purple scar, sorry, I just woke up, is because Sparkplug's not here. Sparkplug upgrades always. So the thing is that if you get a gray makeshift, you upgrade it up to a green, mechanical to a blue, or you get a green makeshift and you upgrade that up to a blue makeshift, and then use the mechanical parts to go to a purple, and that goes the same with ARs. So it's really, really good. Gold is kind of lackluster in Caddy. She has no challenges either, so all your golds is gonna be from chest and like couches and cash registers and whatnot. So really, you can't upgrade that much, but you can obviously pick and choose depending on like what makeshifts you get from the chest. So now let's talk a bit about campfires. Make sure you know the campfires nearby. So if we look here, my cat is jumping everywhere where she should not be. Sorry if you can start hearing her meow and she's like fucking climbing all over me. So campfires are pretty much, I mean, they're, turn off chest. So they're pretty lackluster in Caddy. I mean, you don't really have a lot of options. You can't, this river goes down, so it's kind of hard to go up it. But depending on where zone pulls, I mean, if it goes like over here, then you have quite a fair bit of options in regards to campfires, how you want to rotate a zone. But this is kind of like a dead man's land here. Um, and then if it pulls over here, which most cases it will, we have like this campfire here. There's some campfires on the hill here. There's a campfire down here. There's one up top, so you can either go down the waterfall or up top it, and then kind of like work your way in a zone like this. And then if it pulls up, you have a few options. Depending on zone, if zone's like right here, then you can go back, hit the campfires on the edge, and then get on dead side. And that goes the same if the zone is up by Steamy, then you could do somewhat of a similar thing because there is campfires like all along here. If we zoom out here, show you. So there is campfires that you can see almost all along this path to get to Steamy. So you're pretty much always safe in regards to campfires. And let's go to one of the other most important features of Caddy, and that is the NOMs. So both sides, this is 8, this is 7, and basically with the NOMs, what makes them so important is that you can get basically 3 different types of stuff from them. Now don't walk on the keyboard, Lucy. So first we have mushrooms. I'm just going to write them as mush because I don't want to write that much. We have peppers. I write them as pep. And we have white heels, which I write as white or W as wheels, whatever. Put a dash there. All right, so mushrooms. I landed here in Battle Lab just to see how much I did get, and in most cases you get 75 to 100 free shield. So that's enough for one person. So if you pop one mini, then one person can get full shield, and you can save some extra shield for the rest of your trio. Peppers, it really varies. Sometimes I've gotten 2, sometimes I've gotten like fucking max. So you know that's just RNG. But good things about peppers is you have really 3 options for them. You can use them to full send gas station or full send weather station, and that's good because it'll like take them from surprise. Vice versa, gas station can use them to send you or send weather. It doesn't matter, but they're definitely good early game. They're also good for mid game pushing. So if your controller player cracks somebody, like let's say you crack someone over here and your team's over here, then all 3 you pop peppers and you can push them super quick and end the fight super fast. It's good for late game rotates. It's good for running away, etc. Peppers are just like a good way to rotate, like quickly, not safely. And then we have the white heels, so cabbages, apples, corns, bananas, etc. And those basically, I mean, white heels are good. They're just like there's better stuff than them, band-aids, medkits, floppers. Basically, there's a lot of stints for white heels, so don't be afraid to pick them up if you don't have any other options. Especially if your team is going for like a tank-heavy approach where you tank storm in order to get the dead side, then it might be better to have someone holding max white heels or whatnot. My fucking cat. Alrighty, so Now we talk about NOMs. I think we're pretty much done here. Fishing rods and fishing holes. Might as well bring that up briefly. So there is two things in Caddy for fishing rods, and then depending on where you rotate, all on these rivers you have fishing holes you can hit, but they're also going to be contested if the lazy team, the retail team, Camp Cod. So this is going to be a pretty hot zone here, and it's kind of definitely scary to fish along here. Same as along here, because then we have the Misty team's going to be around here. Lazy team might hear it and come down. Fuck it. Maybe the Camp God team's like, oh, I'll come this way. And now you have three teams pinching you, and you're basically fucked. So this next little tip goes for the entirety of like this zone here for all the POIs around it. Let's do a red. Can I change color? I can. So this zone, like right along here, I'd say, is like a danger zone. This is like very, very dangerous for most people because a lot of teams cut through it. That's the thing. We have the Camp God team, which usually boat up here, and they might run into the Caddy team that's leaving like this. And then if they end this fight quick, it's a 2v3, and then they might be able to kill you guys. Then we have the Misty team, which might do a rotate like this to hit the bunker chest and go up to Lazy, and then Caddy. So as you can see, not including the Lazy team, the Lazy team might even come down and meet you guys here if this is in zone. We have three teams that can basically fuck you guys up down here. So that is a danger zone. So if you can avoid this entire zone when rotating the zone for all three of these teams, then that will be really good for you and really help you. Nice. Alright, so now let's talk about just, some things with Caddy. It's a very drop-oriented place, POI. And the reason being is that it's basically surrounded by mountains, and it's on a mountain. And basically how Caddy is set up, that if you are the first one to land in this area here, more specifically this building here, then there's a good chances you'll win this entire place. Obviously, this side is greater than that side, so if you win this entire place, good chances you'll win all of Caddy. There's just more loot, there's more mats, there's a fuck ton of pallets, there's metal, these fences give you a fair amount of shit. Get these fences again around, control the dumpster, build box around it. But there's pallets here, pallets inside, pallets on top, more noms, more chests, more everything. And you also have the option to just leave. I mean, you can just dip out to retail, dip down the river, fish, be early and fish, grab the bunker chest and dip. Like that's all like a viable option for you. Now, gas station side, we have less chests, less noms, same amount of mechanical parts. You have the big tires. You have more car spawns, so you technically have more chances for mechanical parts. But the downside is that when the weather station team comes, you're gonna be the first team they push, and then you can get pinched. So then this team can be like, all right, now I want to join this fight because weather station is full sending them, and I can sit on either side and just fucking be a nuisance and third party both sides until we can get some kills. So gas station has to either leave immediately, loot this, and dip, or they have to push this team as soon as possible. So when the weather station team comes, hopefully they clean up the fight early enough. But in most cases, you want to send somebody to the top of this building to get all the floor loot, and then you can send somebody to the balcony or one of these windows here to get in, and then to get all the chests on the inside, clear it out together, loot up like this, clear out this entire spot, either push into gas station or whatever you want to do with peppers, without peppers, etc. And then if you're doing for some type of split over here in Caddy, or no, sorry, we're in Caddy, but like in gas station, two over here, one over here. This person loots all the mechanical parts as fast as they can. You loot all of this. These are the best places for mats here. So you grab all the mats you can find, and then you either play defensive and wait for this team to come, or you push into them. Now let's talk about some power positions in Caddy. So first off, if you're defending main, I'll call this main. This is a power position. This is a power position. This is a power position. This is also a power position for defending. So these are basically the spots where you want to be if you're defending. The reason is, first off, you don't want to have three people on this, because what that means is that, especially if your team is like new and like kind of uncoordinated still, is that if you have three kids sitting on here, and let's say someone takes the dumpster, and or one of your teammates gets cracked, like let's say somebody's looping around like this, and this guy and one of your teammates gets cracked. So number 3 gets cracked, and 2 and 1 are like, oh wait, I'm here to help, and they turn their back on the enemy 1 and 2, and then they come and beam them, and then you guys end up losing the fight. So if your team is uncoordinated, don't have all of them on this building. You can have one over here, 2 right here, so you're defending like this. This one's a little bit more riskier, but you can send 1 person over here, have 1 on this building, or 2, you can have 1 or 2 on that building like that. It's really whatever you guys prefer. Let's just say you have 2 over here, and let's say Team Yellow is pushing like this. So they're all 3 of them, same angles, pushing the 2 here. These guys got to play safe, got to play for beams, and then this guy hopefully has a real AR or a bow or something, and he has to look for the high beam or shot or whatever and crack the fuck out of Yellow when they're pushing. But what happens if he shoots too early before your 2 and Yellow connects with your other 2 teammates? If he shoots early and they're like over here, they're all just gonna say, "Wait, we can just send the fuck out of this guy." And all 3 of them are gonna push like this. Now, if your boy's good at DKing and he can stay alive, crank to height, whatever he has to fucking do, this can work out in your favor because all 3 of them are gonna have their back to the 2, which is even better than having their back to the 1. So now you have 2 people with the chance of fucking lasering this entire trio. Now let's talk about power positions from defended gas station. So obviously the best power position would be gas. You can even get on top of this mountain. This mountain is also good because it can fool this team. Because they might think that this gas station team's still here, and this team is weather station on the hill. So they'll be like, oh, okay, I don't want to fight this at all. And they'll dip. Because they're like, alright, there's 2 teams here. We have fucking gas, and we have weather now. But really it's just they're just gas rotating onto weather. Or onto the mountain. So other power positions, this is still a power position for either team. But the downside about this is that if your team set up here and they haven't hit the like hard, I'm saying hard mats, I don't mean like stone or whatever, I mean like the heavy materials. Like this is where like most of the mats are on this side. I mean there's like trees here and some stone back here, but like a fair amount of the trees and the fences and the stone here give like good mats. Good mats, that's what I should be using instead. So if you're this team and you're pushing, and you see this isn't looted, good chances they don't have that good of mats. So you can play the long game and sit and wait for the weather station team to come to pinch them. Then this team shambles and this team fights and you third party blah 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 and you win. All right, let's say it's a clusterfuck. We have 2 teams landing main. I don't know, 2 teams landing gas. So the goal of Catty should always be to end the fight as soon as possible, no matter what, because you have to be prepared for the weather station team to come fucking busting ass into Catty. So that's why you want to make sure you end these fights quick, or at least the fights you're in quick. Sorry, I had to yell at my dog there for digging up the carpet for a second. Actually, here's a bread clip. She loves to bite on those. Izzy, go bite on this bread clip. Okay. Oh yeah, that's your favorite. You love that. Um, by the way, it's not one of those small bread clips. It's like a bigger one. She just likes biting on it. And she won't choke on it, so don't worry. I'm not fucking Alinity or whatever the fuck the streamer that threw her cat against the wall. Anyway, clusterfuck. Again, you want to make sure your trio owns this building here and force the other teams on the outside because it's way more shambles on the outside. You can get beamed from the gas station team. Fucking what? Somebody on this hill might even look at you early game if someone lands like at the tents or whatever. But either way, you own this position, you lock it down, and then you wait till you catch one of the other trio members off guard on the other team, and then you capitalize that, clean them up, fight the gas station team, etc. But let's say you don't own main or like main of main, so like this part here, send your trios like kind of in the same area, or your trio, like your members in the same area, loot up, loot together, and then push together. I wouldn't ramp up because your mat's gonna be pretty shambles. I'd fight from the inside up. So get in the second floor here, and then work your way up by fighting, get picks, etc. Break the windows, so you can replace them, etc., etc. Now, if you're fighting gas station side and you're contested, you basically have to guarantee that you get gas station. Because if you don't get this, you're gonna have like 1 chest. So you're pretty much fucked. 1 chest, 3 people. not enough loot. You're gonna have to dip to here and dip the zone basically and find shambles loot all along the way. If you get gas station and you notice that a trio is like one person's landing here, one person's landing here, one person's landing here, send the guy that's closest, get the kill, pick up the rest, and then dip. Alright, so now we've talked about landing in caddy. Let's turn on chest right now and talk about if you're unconned. I probably should have done this earlier, but whatever. Unconned, send some person to land like here, and then they loot all of this. They can hit this one too. Then they can either run over here, hit all this metal, either break enough metal so that there's metal here for everybody, or just for themselves. I mean, this is a very good place for metal. These fences give like 20 metal each, so you're basically guaranteed a lot of metal from this. And then over here, you can send somebody here, another one here. So this person can loot down into this, loot all this, even this, and then come back. He can check out bunker chest to see if it's hit, but that's kind of getting crazy because he might get caught out. And then you can have one person land in here, and then this guy can loot all this, loot all the NOMs, grab mats, etc. And then you guys can decide if you want to push weather station, go up into tents over here, dip into zone, send retail, etc. So now let's talk about where you can or who can push into caddy. Really, there's only one team, and that's weather station. This team will always push into caddy. There's only 9 chests here divided by 3, so 3 chests a person. And that's if they all spawn. So, if we get 5 divided by 3, again, that's some decimal, and I don't want to do that. So it's like 1 point something, I feel like. So, most cases, the weather station team will push into caddy. So that's something you will have to watch out for. This is almost 100% of the time. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the weather station prefers to, especially if they have zone. If they have zone, they're gonna look down at the camp COD team, look for tags when they're rotating like this, and then send them. But that's a talk for camp COD later. So really, it's just this team. I mean, Misty's probably not going to come in. Retail can push into caddy like this, but they have to loot this very fast and then push because again, like caddy is small, so you're gonna be fighting quick, end your fights quick, looting quick, etc. So where can caddy push into? First off, if you're unconned and you just loot this area, you can push weather station and meet them right around here. They won't fucking expect that. Weather station is supposed to be the team that pushes caddy. But if you beat them to it and you wait for them to la da da da, and then you fucking 3-2-1 them, they're dead. You win. Nice. You can push into lazy. That's the common one. You just go down here and cut through lazy. Another one is either grab a car, take the road all the way down into retail, or pepper across into retail if there's no cars left. This is good because the retail team, especially, they really don't think that they're going to be conned by anybody after like the people that already land retail. So they might be like split up, like something like this. So you kill one, whichever one comes next, you kill them, and then you finish the last one. So I think I pretty much have covered everything in regards to caddy. I might obviously I can't really do the um, in-game analysis anymore because this laptop I'm running is like kind of choppy and I have to put everything on the lowest resolution, and that's just not really fun. So in regards to rotates, in most cases, let's turn campfires back on. In most cases, like just because of where caddy's positioned, like this side of the map. So most cases, obviously, zone's going to be like over here, something like this, in one of these circles. And if you're in zone, obviously you loot up all the shit you can. Be mindful if the other team's around, like the lazy team, the retail team, Camp COD, Weather Station, Misty. These are the teams you should watch out for. And maybe if someone does some split over here. So when you're dropping in, if you can look for them, good. But 100% of the time, you should be looking for Weather Station almost always. So if zone pulls far over here, and like then you have to split like dead side, hot side, whatever. You're going to wanna like again remember what I said, danger zone. So if you can loop around it at all, that would be the best case scenario, up and around, deep and around like this. But if you have to go through, don't be afraid to use like the pop a pepper and then all of you guys just bust ass through and white line it. Like that's worth it if you don't get beamed by the Camp God team or whatnot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if it seemed rush or anything like that. I've just recorded it like 45 fucking times. Um, and really, caddy is a pretty straightforward place. You land first, good chances you're winning if you play your cards right. And if you land second, then you're pretty much fucked if the other team plays their cards right. That's really it. And then once you win, you have to watch over weather station and then rotate in the zone and be careful of here. That's really like the simple caddy corner. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Next, I will either be doing risky reels or camp cod. They've been suggested. All my animals have started to make noise, so I'm gonna end this quick. So cheers.